Almost 8 months since the deadline of the filing of his Statement of Assets, Liabilities and Net Worth, hindi pa rin isinasa publiko ni Pangulong Duterte ang kanyang SALN. Nako, this is a big deal para sa mga tao na naghahanap ng transparency in government. Pati na rin sa Pangulong Duterte kasi di ba naging bahagi yan ng kanyang campaign, ano? Tsaka lagi niyang sinasabi.
Freedom of information.
Freedom of information. Tapos
niya.
sabi niya na kailangan labanan ng corruption. Part of that is transparency. So, hindi nakapagtataka kung may mga madidisappoint na hindi pa rin public ang kanyang SALN. Pero Richard, meron ka bang analysis dito? Meron bang dahilan? Meron bang valid reason for withholding it? Or ano ba ang aasahan natin dito?
So, Atom, wag natin kalimutan, if ever hindi ma-release ito within the coming weeks, no, this will be the first time in 30 years since President Marcos na hindi nag-release ng isang presidente dito sa Pilipinas yung kanyang SALN. No? But to be fair, I mean, this law is, under the current constitution, but this will be the first time in the past 30 years na hindi binigay ng SALN. So, this will say a lot about how much transparency is appreciated by the President. Now, there's a context to this, no? Of course, tama yung sinabi mo, exactly. Medyo contradictory ito dun sa sinabi ni Pangulong Duterte nung tumakbo siya because hindi lang krimen, no, yung focus ng kanyang agenda. Yung isa pang agenda is to fight corruption. And transparency and accountability is very important to that. But this is also where the President's populism comes in the picture. Isang common trend among all populists is that they tend to see themselves as almost above the law. Kasi silang ultimate representation ng public interest. So dito nakikita mo,
Parang double standard.
Yes,
ano?
exactly. Sa isang banda, si Pangulo Duterte over the past few days has been so strong, no? Laban sa mga so-called oligarchs calling for scrapping yung mga contracts with Maynila and Manila Water, accusing them of manipulating the prices, which is a form of corruption, for him. But sa isang banda, pagdating sa sarili niya, he's not being transparent about this issue. And of course, nakita natin this was even more contentious and became a national news even more nung he was challenged by former Senator Trillanes on this issue, no? And may back and forth sila.
Ngayon, may alleged hidden wealth daw si Pangulong Duterte.
Base sa report ng PCIJ, mukhang ang problema is it was smooth until 2018 to a certain degree, but once there was a new ombudsman, Ombudsman Martirez, mukhang biglang the Ombudsman Office, kasi per SALN law, yung Ombudsman Office ang custodian ng SALN ng presidente, high-level officials, and vice president. Biglang hindi na sila nag-release at biglang sinasabi nila kailangan nila mag-release ng new guidelines before i-release ito. Habang Vice President Robredo immediately gave it to the media when it was needed. So the problem right now is suddenly the Ombudsman Office is holding back and then nagva-volleyball ang Ombudsman Office and Office of Executive Secretary. So mukhang there's kind of a bureaucratic railroading nangyari dito or kicking the can down the road. This doesn't reflect very well on President Duterte. So, Atom, no, as much as it's correct for the President to rail against the so-called oligarchs to fight against corruption, sana naman he starts also with himself in terms of having more transparency about his own SALN.